Good evening. I'm 5 News meteorologist Stephen Elmore. We do have our first severe thunderstorm warning in northwest Arkansas. This line has pushed through Kansas City, all across Missouri, and now into northwest Arkansas. The good news is, as it's been pushing through, it's slowly been decreasing. We've seen some parts of this line of thunderstorms producing up to 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts, some 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts, and now we're starting to see just moving into northwest Arkansas, anywhere between that 60 and 70-mile-an-hour wind gust range. So we're still producing some strong wind gusts to damaging wind gusts, and now we have our first severe thunderstorm warning into northwest Arkansas. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the details on what this warning entails. Again, the line of thunderstorms is just now at the state line, pushing into the polygon you see here for Madison, Carroll, and Benton counties. This is going out until 12:15 a.m., so about 45 minutes. This is still producing around 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts. This is going to be considered some damaging wind. Good news is, haven't seen a whole lot of rotation, at least on this side of the line of thunderstorms, and not producing a whole lot of hail. This is only purely a wind gust threat heading into the rest of this evening. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in just a little bit here and start pointing out some communities within this warning that this line of thunderstorms is going to start to be impacting. So again, in the polygon across Benton County, we've got places like War Eagle, Garfield, Pea Ridge, and Prairie Creek. But you see, as this image starts to pop up, the strongest portions of these storms are starting to fall apart. This is not where the strongest wind gusts are. I'd say more of the threat is going to be across Carroll County, who earlier today already had a few severe thunderstorm warnings. The Eureka Springs area, Beaver, and Berryville. This is where those strong wind gusts are going to be impacting. Again, around 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts here pretty shortly. We'll go ahead and track it out here in a second. This warning also does extend into Madison County, so folks in Huntsville, you're also included in northern portions of Madison County, also included into that warning. So we'll track it out here. This line of thunderstorms is making a turn right now more towards the Branson areas where those strongest wind gusts are. So it looks like most of northwest Arkansas is going to be okay. Places like Bentonville, Fayetteville, Rogers, Bella Vista not even included in this warning. So this is more taking a southeastern turn as we head towards the midnight hour. So we'll go ahead and track this out here. Again, still producing around 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts. So it's 11:36 right now. Pea Ridge, 11:41 is when they expect that line of thunderstorms to start to move in. Folks in Pea Ridge, you're going to see some strong wind gusts, heavy downpours, probably lots of lightning as well. Good news is no hail cores right now. We're going to start to move into Berryville closer towards midnight, and then Huntsville closer towards 12:15. So still got some time here. Again, this is issued out ahead of time. Still got about close to 45 minutes before we reach folks in Huntsville, and hopefully what we're hoping for is that this line of thunderstorms continues to fall apart. Again, this line has made a long trek all across Missouri, slowly starting to fall apart. Right now, though, still above the limits for severe weather with producing those 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts. So again, we'll zoom in here and show those areas that are going to be impacted here pretty soon. Pea Ridge, north side of Pea Ridge, probably starting to see some of that rainfall right now. Again, this is not the strongest portion of this line of thunderstorms. Garfield, north side of Garfield, you're starting to see some of that rain start to move in. Beaver, we're going to see some of those stronger wind gusts and some heavy rain start to move in. Eureka Springs, you still got some time. Prairie Creek, you still got some time. And War Eagle, obviously, on the south side of Benton County, we still got plenty of time before that line of thunderstorms is going to be moving in. Moving in around 50 miles per hour right now is this line. Again, you see how it's kind of making a turn, moving towards the southeast. This is going to be affecting more of portions of northern Arkansas more than northwest Arkansas. Really, this is the weaker end of this tail of thunderstorms. The stronger wind gusts are pushing through Springfield right now. But we still have a warning across portions of northwest Arkansas. Again, we'll see how long this lasts. If we start to see this western portion of this line start to pick up in some intensity, we could see some of those strong wind gusts try to move into more of Benton County. Right now, I'd say Benton County, prepare for some heavier pockets of some rain. It's not just going to be a direct downpour. Again, you're starting to see some of these isolated pockets of heavier rainfall that's going to be moving in. So you're going to see a quick downpour and then maybe starting to lighten up, and we could see a few more of those starting to move into Benton County. Again, the strongest wind threat for our viewing area is going to be moving into Carroll and Madison counties over the next 45 minutes to an hour or so. We have our live stream pulled up, so we'll be able to answer some of those questions that you have for us. Clarksville, one of our questions is what's Clarksville going to look like for tonight? Johnson County was included in that severe thunderstorm watch. That goes out until 2 a.m. Still plenty of time to go until we reach all the way towards the southern portion of that watch. I'll go ahead and pull up what that looks like right now. We'll take off the cloud coverage so you can get a good look of where that watch was issued. That was issued about 30 minutes ago, I want to say. So for our viewing area, we're focusing on Benton, Carroll, Washington, Madison, and Johnson counties also included. Again, this line of thunderstorms still in Missouri hasn't even reached, just now reaching towards the state line, so still got a while for folks that are in Johnson counties. Producing a lot of strong wind gusts right now. Questions about Oklahoma. I doubt Oklahoma will see any of this. As for our viewing areas, maybe just some rainfall. If this western edge starts to leak out a bit, maybe you get some isolated heavy downpours overall, though the strongest wind gusts, again, in the Branson area right now is where we're going to see this just wall of wind and heavy rainfall start to move in here pretty shortly, right on the doorsteps of Branson right now. This is going to be this line of thunderstorms right here. This section, at least, is going to be moving. That's why we have this warning into northwest Arkansas, is because these are going to be producing some of those stronger wind gusts anywhere between 60 and 70 miles per hour over the next 45 minutes or so. So we'll go ahead and pull up velocity real quick, show you when we see those bright spots, we know. So yeah, that wall of wind, you see all this red right here, but really what we're focusing on is this yellow and to orangish area. That's where the strongest wind gusts are. So the Branson area is really going to see the strongest of those wind gusts. This area right here, where we're focusing into northwest Arkansas, is definitely not where the strongest wind gusts are, but these are those 60-ish mile an hour wind gusts that produce this severe thunderstorm warning. So again, we're still going to see some damaging wind gusts. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in and see where that velocity is right now. It looks like it already might have pushed through. Yeah, so Pea Ridge maybe saw some of those strong wind gusts. Garfield seeing some of those strong wind gusts. Beaver definitely going to see those strong wind gusts right now. Eureka Springs, you're up next. You're going to see this wall of wind come through, kind of this outflow right here, producing some of those strong wind gusts. And then after those wind gusts comes the heavy downpours of that rain. We're going to see some lightning off in the distance as well. I'll pull up. We'll show you the hail cores just to kind of show you that this is mainly going to be a wind threat across southern portions of Missouri. You're seeing some of these gray spots. This is maybe pea-sized hail, so that's definitely not a threat. Not even seeing any returns come up for northwest Arkansas. I doubt we'll see any type of hail through this event. Really, what we're going to be showing you bouncing back and forth is between velocity, showing us our wind gusts, again, producing around 60 mile an hour wind gusts right now. And then what we're also going to be showing you is radar, where that heavy rainfall is going to be. Folks who are driving on the road late at night tonight may be running into some of those heavier spots of some rainfall, which we could definitely use right now. Had some earlier today across Carroll County. Saw most of those severe thunderstorm warnings bringing some of those downpours. But most of northwest Arkansas, especially the River Valley, has remained bone dry today. And through tomorrow, maybe seeing some more of those chances for some rainfall in the morning hours around 6 a.m. Trying to work at another system just for some heavier rainfall across northwest Arkansas, trying to creep into the River Valley. Overall, though, this is going to be the severe portion of it. So we just got that latest return on velocity, and I'm going to drag it over here so I'm not blocking it. Latest return on velocity, again, this is where Branson right now is seeing some really strong wind gusts. With all this orange and yellow right here, I imagine this is probably in the 70 to 80 mile an hour range. That's where you see all this orange and yellow and stuff. That's the strongest wind gust. But this is starting to pick up into Carroll County, Berryville. You're about to see some of those strong wind gusts come through. Good news is the western side of this system in Benton County is really starting to fall apart. Really not seeing that kind of that tail off right there into War Eagle. So for the most part, this isn't producing a lot of strong wind gusts, maybe 40 mile an hour wind gusts, maybe get a special weather statement out of that, which is what's issued when we're right below the severe limit. So anywhere between 40 and 50 mile an hour reads. Carroll County right now about to get hit again with some strong wind gusts. Again, earlier on today, we had those severe thunderstorm warnings. I believe Berryville right now is probably going to see the brunt of it. As for our viewing area, Eureka Springs, Beaver, you're in the clear now. You just got to deal with that heavy rainfall and lightning now. The leading edge of that system has already pushed through. Eureka Springs, that heavy wind is right now. So if we are seeing those wind gusts peaking up near 60 mile an hour, could see some damage reports coming out of Eureka Springs. Overall, though, again, the stronger wind gusts are up near the Branson area. Berryville, looks like we're still getting some returns right now. This yellow and orange right here. So I believe this wall of wind is going to start to move towards Berryville. We're going to see some of those strong wind gusts into Carroll County over the next 15 to 30 minutes or so. Reading through our chats as we go along, want to try to answer as many questions as possible. Windy in Bentonville is what we're seeing right now. Again, some of these returns showing that we could see some of these isolated pockets of these thunderstorms. North side of Bentonville right now about to get poured on. Maybe some strong wind gusts involved in here. Again, outside of our warning, so we're not really necessarily close to that 60 mile an hour range, but we did have a special weather statement for the rest of Bentonville. That was for 40 to 50 mile an hour wind gusts. Still very windy, just below that severe limit. Most likely not going to be damaging, but definitely hear it outside those strong wind gusts. Pulling up velocity one more time. Again, obviously, folks in the Branson area, that's where the strongest of the storms are going to be. So thinking about them. But when it comes to this warning in Northwest Arkansas, this most likely might be our only warning of the night tonight, just because this is the weaker end as this starts to make that southeastern turn towards northern Arkansas. So this might be it for us tonight. These strong wind gusts starting to move in anywhere between that 50 to 60 mile an hour range. And Carroll and Madison counties right now. Benton County, not necessarily seeing the strongest wind gusts out of this. We got a little outflow right there. Trying this little notch right here is trying to work its way in. Again, we're working off the Springfield radar here, so some of these returns maybe not as great, not being able to produce the best readings for those wind gusts. Overall, though, it looks like we may have missed the strongest of those winds. Definitely going to see some of that rainfall, though. Those wanting that rainfall, thinking about it, we've had these temperatures all week long, anywhere between the 95 to triple digits. Rainfall is definitely going to help out with that, especially as we head into tomorrow morning. If we get a little bit of rainfall into Northwest Arkansas, maybe seeing temperatures a bit cooler heading into our Monday. Overall, though, this isn't going to be a soaker of an event. Carroll County has already seen a lot of rainfall today, so maybe seeing some cooler temperatures heading into tomorrow. But right now, across Benton County, Eureka Springs area, and just outside of Berryville, seeing that heavy rainfall right now. Pea Ridge, seeing some of that heavy rainfall. Good news is that since this is the tail end of things, of this system, that we're going to see the downpour right now, and then everything behind it seems like it's lighter rain, maybe seeing just a light rain through the overnight hours, starting to clear up as we get into tomorrow morning. Prairie Creek, going to see some of those strong wind gusts right now, maybe producing up to 60 miles an hour. Overall, though, probably anywhere between that 40 to 50 mile an hour range. Pull up velocity, see if we got another rate. Again, we're right on the edge between, you see I scrolled down there, and now we're at the Fort Smith radar. So we're kind of working off of the tail ends of two radar sites at the edge of them, so maybe not the best readings right now, but it looks like for the most part, based off of the Springfield rating, again, we have to be careful here because we're on the edge of it, but for the most part, not as strong as wind gusts moving into Benton County anymore. Maybe seeing this warning start to trim just a bit. Eureka Springs area now starting to see those strong wind gusts right now. Berryville up next into Carroll County, a place that does not need any more severe weather today because, again, obviously, like we mentioned, multiple severe thunderstorm warnings earlier this afternoon. Strong wind gusts in Lowell. Very windy in X&A. Again, when we're talking about these strong winds, it's going to be windy heading into tonight, but it's a matter if we reach over the severe limit or not. We still could get some damage reports from those special weather statements, which is just under that 60-mile-an-hour range. But right now, we're just kind of on the edge of the severe thunderstorm warning, where the heaviest portion of it is still towards central Missouri, southern Missouri. So again, severe thunderstorm warning going out until 12:15 for northwest Arkansas. I believe this will most likely be our only warning in our viewing area, just because we're kind of on the tail end of things here. Velocity is what we're really going to be looking out for. Oak Grove on the edge of Carroll County. We just got that latest radar, so you just got some of those strong wind gusts. Still a lot of strong wind gusts in Berryville and northeastern portions of Carroll County. Green Forest area, you're going to see a wall of wind coming here pretty soon. Eureka Springs, even though that leading edge of those wind gusts has already passed, still picking up some of those strong winds returns back across Carroll County. Green Forest up next with those strong wind gusts as well. Take a peek over at Benton. Again, it's really hard to tell because we're right on the edge of that radar site. Overall, though, Garfield area may be seeing some of those strong wind gusts as well. Severe thunderstorm warning. They just issue another one. Yeah, the Eureka Springs area is really starting to see those strong wind gusts start to pick up now as that leading edge continues to push through. Taking a look at sweeping, just a downpour right now across Benton and Carroll counties right now. Now, as we get closer towards Madison County, those downpours will still happen. Hopefully, what we're hoping for is that those wind gusts will start to die down and maybe we start to lose that severe thunderstorm warning. I'm going to pull up the information one more time on this polygon just to see if they've changed anything. Still holding on to those 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts. This is now moving only 50 mile an hour towards the southeast, so it is decreasing in how fast it's moving, which is a good sign. Strong winds in the Gravette area. Yep, we're going to see as this isolated thunderstorm that's right over Bentonville right now could see some of those strong winds push off towards Gravette. I don't believe, though, based off of our radar returns, we're seeing any of that rainfall right now, though, which everybody's hoping for some rainfall as we go into another hot rest of the week. Not a lot of rain chances to spare this week. We'll maybe get some more rain heading into tomorrow morning around 6 a.m.-ish for northwest Arkansas, trying to get some in the River Valley. Overall, though, after tomorrow, those rain chances are pretty weak throughout the rest of this upcoming week until we get to next weekend is when those storm chances start to pick back up again. Those folks that are curious about the heat this week, it's going to get even hotter. Temperatures are going to be in the triple digits all across northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. Heat index values may be reaching up towards 115 by the time we get to Wednesday, Thursday, and into Friday before that next cold front arrives. All right, so we still got the severe thunderstorm warning. I imagine they're most likely going to, we'll see if they hang on to this throughout the duration of its expected time. Let's pull up that warning one more time. All right, we'll zoom in here and start to point out these areas again. Again, hard to tell what the wind gusts as for their severity are looking like across portions of northeastern Benton County, just because we're so far from the radar site. Looks like, though, most of that wind is not as strong right now, probably in between the 40 to 50 mile an hour range. What we're worried about right now is that's this line of thunderstorms that's still pushing across portions of Carroll County towards the northeastern side of Carroll County. That's where those stronger wind gusts are going to be. Anytime you see these yellow or orange readings is when we're starting to see some of those strong wind gusts. Eureka Springs area also seeing some of those lightning strikes and some of those strong wind gusts as well. I'm going to pull up sweeping radar, show where we're starting to get some of that rainfall. Again, if you look at the whole line that we have here, obviously this bow echo that we have is across portions of southern Missouri. That's where those strongest wind gusts are. That's where most of those lightning strikes are. That's where the worst of this storm is going to be right now. We are starting to get some of that rainfall across Benton County right now, though. So Bentonville, Rogers, XNA probably getting a little windy here as this outflow continues to push through. Prairie Creek starting to see some of that heavy rainfall. Garfield, Pea Ridge, and War Eagle also seeing that rainfall right now. Hopefully we can get just these isolated cells to continue to push south, and then everybody across northwest Arkansas is going to see some type of rainfall. Hopefully we get some in Springdale, maybe even pushing towards Fayetteville if this line continues to make its way towards the south. But overall, though, it's looking like it's making more of a southeastern turn. Questions coming in our chat. How fast is it moving? It's moving around 50 miles per hour right now towards the southeast. So that's the difference there to understand. It's moving 50 miles an hour, producing the capability of those strong wind gusts anywhere between that 50 to 60 mile an hour range. That's why we have that severe thunderstorm warning right now in Benton, Carroll, and Madison counties. I'm going to pull up our hail cores one more time. Again, you're seeing a lot of these returns of just some gray. Maybe saw some small pea-size hail just to the northwest of Berryville. Overall, though, hail concerns are not our main concern for tonight. It's going to be those strong wind gusts. When we see our velocity returns, going to be checking back on this quite a lot as long as we have this warning into northwest Arkansas, just to keep an eye, make sure we're not seeing any of those notches. Maybe the possibility of any rotation for tonight is very low, but we can never rule it out. So hopefully we avoid that to see any of that manufacturing of that rotation when those strong wind gusts start to make those notches in that outflow. And we just got our latest return. Winds really starting to picking up across Carroll County. We're seeing a lot of these orange returns right now. So Carroll County, we're seeing those strong wind gusts once again. This leading edge is where those stronger wind gusts are going to be, pushing into Madison County as well. Maybe got a little bit of those strong wind gusts starting to push into, got a little bit of an outflow boundary right here. So folks talking about those strong wind gusts in Springdale. Again, it's super hard here because we're in between those two radar sites in between Fort Smith and Springfield. So everything in between kind of gets a little bit of fuzz. But most likely that's some strong wind gusts right now pushing through Springdale. Folks in Fayetteville and Washington County, this outflow boundary is going to continue to push through. Going to see some of those strong wind gusts. Again, right now, well below the damaging range right now. This is what we call those special weather statements. Probably folks that are saying that it's extremely windy in Springdale right now, most likely because we're seeing those 40 to 50 mile an hour wind gusts. Most likely not going to cause any damage, but it's going to be loud. You're going to hear it outside. As long as we continue to see this line of wind start to move through. Good news is we're getting some rainfall across Benton County right now, and hopefully pushing into Madison County. These isolated thunderstorms most likely going to continue with their southeastern trek, so folks hoping for some rainfall in Washington County, most likely not going to see a whole lot, if anything. Folks that are hoping for some rain across the river valley, better chances heading into tomorrow morning, or this morning. What time is it? Almost midnight. So Monday morning around 6 a.m. is when we could see some of those showers starting to move through. And that's what we're talking about. Yeah, so just got one of those special weather statements in Washington County. So folks talking about those strong winds. Yep, right here. I think I could hear it outside of our studio here in Johnson. There's that line of wind that just pushed through Springdale, Tawnytown, and Johnson right now. Strong line of wind gusts going to be moving towards the Farmington and Fayetteville area. Again, below the severe limit. Otherwise, we'd have that severe thunderstorm warning if it crossed over into the 60-mile-an-hour range. We just got this outflow right now of some strong wind gusts pushing through portions of northern Washington County late this evening. Not getting any of maybe some rainfall right now, starting to push through. North side of Springdale seeing some of that rain right now, but there's that wall of wind pushing towards the south. So maybe having a brief periods for some of those strong wind gusts, not those severe wind gusts. We'll see if they upgrade that special weather statement for Washington County. I wish I could show you what the polygon for those special weather statements look like. Those don't populate on our system. But I can go ahead and draw kind of an idea of where that special weather statement is. It's kind of, whoops. This area is where that special weather statement is for 40 to 50 mile an hour wind gusts. So Washington County really is going to see this outflow boundary push through, and we're going to see some of those strong wind gusts moving into Fayetteville and Farmington area here in about the next 10 to 15 minutes or so. All right, let's go ahead and get back to our severe thunderstorm warning. Try to push up towards that Springfield radar site. Okay, so this wall of wind, still lots of strong wind gusts across Carroll County. Berryville seeing those strongest wind gusts right now with a lot of these lightning strikes picking up, and also all this yellow orangish tint picking up. Those are those strong wind gusts right now. The leading edge is where we're going to see the strongest portion of it pushing towards the southeast. Hopefully our next severe thunderstorm warning is going to be below that 60-mile-an-hour range. Then we won't see that severe thunderstorm warning, but I believe most of this is probably going to be out of our viewing area. Again, Carroll County is just our farthest county that we have. This will be more pushing off towards northern Arkansas. Of course, if we take a look for folks that are curious, southern Missouri is really who's seeing the brunt of those wind gusts. You see how defined that bow echo is right there. Branson just got hit with a wall of wind. These are where the strong wind gusts are. It does include Carroll County, but we're kind of towards the tail end here. So anywhere between that 60, 65 mile an hour range, most likely pushing through Carroll County. They just trimmed Benton County outside of that warning now. So Northwest Arkansas looks like it dodged a wind threat for tonight. Again, Carroll County still seeing the brunt of that wind. Folks that live in Northwest Arkansas and Benton and Washington counties and Madison counties, you're going to be probably hearing some of those strong winds, but again, not to the severe portion we're going to see those warnings, just anywhere between those 40 to 50 mile an hour wind gusts. Still going to hear it outside. Still, if you're outside, hopefully inside by now, but you're still going to see those wind gusts come through, just probably not going to produce enough to get to that severe limit. So Northwest Arkansas just missed this strong windstorm that's going to push through the rest of southern Missouri and into northern Arkansas, northwestern Arkansas. Just going to see some of those isolated pop-up thunderstorms throughout the rest of this evening. That's what we're kind of looking at right here. I'll go ahead and circle it for you. This is more of what we're going to see. Some of these cells could produce those strong wind gusts capable of producing 40 to 50 mile an hour wind gusts, still below that severe range, but hopefully some folks across Benton, Washington, and well, obviously Carroll County is seeing that heavy rainfall right now. Hopefully we get more of this into Benton and Washington County, help our rain totals out for the month so far. It's been hot, it's been humid. Hopefully this will help cool off temperatures heading into tomorrow. Overall, though, the rest of this upcoming week, going to see those triple-digit temperatures once again. All right, let's pull up velocity one more time, see if we can try to find. Yeah, so we do have this outflow still. Moving into Fayetteville right now, folks who live in Fayetteville going to see some strong wind gusts push through. I don't believe that's strong enough yet to issue one of those severe thunderstorm warnings. Just going to hang on to those special weather statements, which is 40 to 50 mile an hour wind gusts. Just got that latest update. Fayetteville right now, you're seeing some really strong wind gusts, not to the severe limit just yet, but it is a good idea to bring anything valuable inside if you need to, pets, things like that. Definitely going to hear it outside. Greenland, Prairie Grove, Elkins, West Fork. We're going to see this wall of wind start to come down. I know it's hard to see here. Kind of this darker green is ahead of it. This lime green is what we're looking at right here. I'll highlight it with a line just so you see what I'm talking about. This is that wall of wind that we're seeing right now. It's going to be pushing towards the south into Fayetteville, Greenland, Farmington, into Prairie Grove. Elkins going to see some of these strong wind gusts. Goshen right now is seeing some of those strong wind gusts. So we got this outflow right here again. Salem Springs, even seeing some of those strong wind gusts right now. Wherever we get those lighter colors in here, I'd say Fayetteville is one of the areas right now that's going to see closer to those 50 to 50 mile an hour wind gusts. Huntsville, you're definitely going to see some of those strong wind gusts right here. Got a few of those lime green spots trying to pop up. That's, again, not rotation, just where the strongest wind gusts are with this outflow boundary that we got that's pushing towards the south-southeast. Good news is that while it's still very windy in Carroll County, that leading edge where most of that damage is going to be is almost out of Carroll County, pushing more towards northern Arkansas and again southern Missouri. Folks, you got family there, friends there. That's where most of that damage is going to be if we have damage reports coming throughout the rest of the night tonight. Stronger wind gusts off towards our east. Just got this outflow boundary that's kind of just being annoying right now, producing some of those strong wind gusts moving into Fayetteville. Again, not under the severe limit, no hail. I don't even believe, taking a look at sweeping radar, Springdale's maybe seeing a few of those scattered showers here and there. But Fayetteville, you got that wall of wind, just no rainfall with it yet. We just got that latest return on some rainfall. Springdale may be seeing some of those sprinkles right now. A few pockets of some heavier rain in Benton County. North side of Bentonville seeing a heavy pocket of rain. Prairie Creek seeing a heavy pocket of rain. War Eagle seeing a heavy pocket of rain. Rogers right now maybe seeing a few sprinkles. Could see this isolated pocket of a downpour start to move into Rogers if this continues its southern trek. Do got some damage reports. Coming out of Springdale. Again, so these what's considered strong wind gusts still can take down those weaker, smaller trees. Looks like we have some damage reports coming out of the north side of Springdale. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up velocity one more time. Springdale, just saw about 10-15 minutes ago that wall of wind come through, pushing through Fayetteville right now, so we could see some of those damage reports coming back heading into tomorrow morning. They'll start to collect those damage reports. So got this outflow boundary right now producing those 50, 55 mile an hour wind gusts. Farmington going to see some of those strong wind gusts. Folks who live in the Elkins, Greenland, Prairie Grove area, we're going to see some of those strong wind gusts. Huntsville looks like we're also going to see some of those strong wind gusts start to push through. So yeah, for folks who don't see it, again, this is kind of what we're looking at right here. That black line representing where those wind gusts are going to be coming, moving directly south. So again, moving across 49, Greenland, West Fork, Prairie Grove, Elkins area. That's where the leading edge of this outflow boundary is going to be in producing some of those damage reports. Hopefully we didn't see many more of those damage reports coming out of Springdale. I know that outflow boundary was producing those 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts. See if we can. So most of those severe thunderstorm warnings, again, pushing off towards the southeast. So the strongest wind gusts we missed, but it looks like just based off of reading some of these damage reports off of our live stream, this outflow boundary has caused some damage across northern Washington County and southern Benton County. Another severe thunderstorm warning, including Carroll and Madison County. So we'll go ahead and get the latest information on that. Severe thunderstorm warning going out until 1 a.m. for 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts. So this area, I'll drag it over here so I'm not blocking it. So all this lime green that you see right here is that wall of wind moving into Osage right now. Huntsville starting to see some of those strong wind gusts now capable of producing over that 60-mile-an-hour range. So these are some damaging wind gusts pushing through portions of Madison and Carroll counties. Right now, Carroll has already seen those strong wind gusts push through. But everything behind that system is also producing the 60, 65-mile-an-hour plus wind gusts as we push off towards the Boston Mountains. Huntsville to Fayetteville, this again, for clearing up anybody confused on radar readings, this is where that wall of wind is right now. Looks like it's pushed through Fayetteville on the south side of Fayetteville now. I'm going to go and pull up rain real quick. Not seeing a whole lot of those downpours in Washington or Benton counties. Northern Madison County and Carroll County still seeing really huge downpour of water right now. That heavy rainfall coming across into the mountains. Probably going to see that over the next hour or so. Looks like the Eureka Springs area is starting to see some of that lighter rainfall, maybe on the southwestern side of Eureka Springs. Anytime we see this green, that's some lighter rainfall. Dark red, that's where that heavier rainfall is going to be. Got a few isolated pockets of some showers in Benton and Washington counties, Gravette area, Gentry area, just outside in Exonay, also seeing some of those pop-up showers as well. This outflow continues to move towards the south. So Elkins right now seeing those strong wind gusts. You want to make sure to stay inside, get away from windows just in case those strong wind gusts cause any damage. Greenland's going to see some of those strong wind gusts in Prairie Grove here in about 5 minutes or so as this continues to push off towards the south. Hopefully this wind starts to break up a bit as that system continues to push across northern and southern Missouri into northern Arkansas. Again, the brunt of this system is further off towards the east. This wall of wind, though, is what's producing some of those damage reports coming out of Washington County this evening. Let's go ahead and severe thunderstorm warning. Again, this is going out until 1 a.m., so we got about another 40 minutes or so before this warning is going to come to an end. Again, this only includes for us Madison and Carroll counties. This is because we've got all this wind right here, and also there could quite possibly be the flood risk across Carroll County just because of how much water we've seen in the past hour or so. So we'll be watching out for that in case we see any more of those flood advisories across Carroll County, northern Madison County. Also could see some. We got those lime green spots popping up right there. Those are those strong winds pushing through. Good news is it looks like this is starting to tail off just a bit, seeing those 40 to 50 mile an hour wind gusts most likely moving into the Prairie Grove, Greenland area right now. But it looks like as this outflow continues to fall apart just a bit, maybe seeing those winds start to come down ever so slightly. We'll start clearing some areas out here so some folks can go to bed. Benton County, all you're going to see people who live in Bella Vista, Bentonville, Rogers, Decatur, Gentry. We're going to be seeing maybe a few pop-up showers here and there. Overall, though, the wind threat is done for tonight. Just going to see maybe a few pockets of those strong wind gusts, 30 to 40 miles per hour with these isolated showers. But overall, the stronger wind gusts in Benton County done for tonight. Washington County still got a little bit to go with this outflow boundary, producing some of those strong wind gusts, pulling up velocity. Again, this line right here is what we're looking at right now, producing that special weather statement, which is not considered to the severe limit just yet, but still producing some of those strong wind gusts. Just on the north side of West Fork now. West Fork probably going to see some of those strong wind gusts push through, maybe seeing this wall of wind start to get closer towards the Winslow area in the next 30 minutes or so. Did see some damage reports in the Springdale area. Hopefully we avoided any damage reports in the Fayetteville area, because I know that wall of wind came through about 10-15 minutes ago. Small trees down in Rogers, reading from our Facebook Live. These are what these winds are going to be doing to those either small trees or just weak trees, dying trees can start to break. Probably a lot of tree limbs down when you wake up tomorrow morning heading to work. Maybe driving around some of those tree limbs down in the road. Greenland area, Elkins area, Prairie Grove, that's where that strong wind is going to be right now. Just north of West Fork, actually moving into West Fork right now, is going to be that wall of wind start to push through. So just prepare for that. You're watching from central Washington County area. We're starting to see some of those strong wind gusts from this outflow boundary start to push off towards the south. Go ahead and focus back on here to the severe thunderstorm warning that we have in Madison and Carroll counties. A lot of strong wind gusts across northern Madison County, pushing to the mountains right now. Huntsville, you're going to see some strong wind gusts right now. This lime green spot, just on the northwest of Huntsville, going to see some of those strong 60, 65 mile an hour wind gusts start to push through as it makes its southeastern turn. Berryville, it looks like you're in the clear. Osage still got some strong wind gusts to go. Taking a look at where our rainfall is right now. Again, really coming down in Carroll and Madison counties. For folks in Benton County, seeing some of those pop-up showers here and there. On the eastern side, northeastern side of Washington County, starting to see some of those showers as well. I want to show you, again, that we're not seeing the brunt of the storm. This is starting to fall apart now. It's a good sign. Not seeing that defined line anymore, but still the Branson area, still seeing those strong damaging wind gusts. And to Carroll County, also seeing those strong wind gusts kind of on the eastern side of Carroll County. Still hanging on to all right, let's take a look at power outages real quick. Again, this list takes a while to get updated. just because they've got to collect a lot of readings across. I'm looking at Benton County first. Looks like we probably have close to 1,500 power outages in Benton County. Folks in Carroll County, close to 100. Washington County, only in the single digits right now. That doesn't mean that we're, this list is completely updated again. They have to get that list populated, try to pick up where those outages are, and then they'll update that list. But right now it looks like the most of those power outages, around 1,500, are in Benton County right now as that outflow boundary moved through. Kind of the back edge of the system right here brought some of those strong wind gusts into northeastern Benton County, Pea Ridge area. Again, these aren't extremely strong wind gusts, but definitely going to hear it outside. West Fork area right now, just on the south side of Prairie Grove, seeing those strong wind gusts as well. Winslow, we're up next. We're going to see those, as long as this line continues to hold together, see some of those strong wind gusts push through right now. Huntsville, though, that's a really strong signature pulling up from those wind gusts right now. West side of Huntsville, you're seeing some of those strong, most likely 60 to 70 mile an hour wind gusts right now. This is what we're looking at right now as probably the most potential to see some of those damage reports late this evening. Whenever we got all this green surrounding it, but what we're looking at is these light spots right here, kind of north and south of Huntsville, that are producing some of those stronger wind gusts capable of producing those 70 plus mile an hour wind gusts. Hopefully this starts to fall apart, and the next reading that we'll get, we'll start to see this start to collapse just a bit. All right. Again, this line of some strong wind gusts pushing off towards the south of Fayetteville now, moving into the south side of Washington County, anywhere between 40 to 50 mile an hour wind gusts, not considered damaging, but you're definitely going to hear it outside. Maybe some small trees, weak trees start to fall over because of this, branches in the road heading into tomorrow morning. Stronger wind gusts are going to be across the Huntsville area. Overall, though, our severe threat is coming to an end for tonight. Only seeing some of that heavy rainfall across Carroll and Madison counties this evening. We'll still see some of these strong wind gusts being produced as this outflow boundary pushes towards the south. Take a look at where the rainfall is. Overall, Washington, Benton County staying dry. Most of that rainfall is in Carroll and northern side of Madison counties this evening. This will be coming to an end in the next hour or so as this pushes off towards central Arkansas, north central Arkansas. But for the most part, our severe threat was missed tonight. Most of that pushing off towards still in the southern Missouri, just east of Branson area. And now working towards north central Arkansas. So we're going to head in, take one more quick look at velocity for that outflow, pushing towards the southern portion of Washington and Madison counties now. This is producing some of those strong wind gusts, 40 to 50 mile an hour. Got a few power outages in Benton, Washington, and Carroll counties. We'll have a better idea of what those damage reports exactly are heading into the early hours for tomorrow morning. Overall, though, hasn't been severely warned so far. Just those strong wind gusts pushing through Washington and parts of Madison County. Really where those strong wind gusts are in the Huntsville area right now. Seeing that strong signature across Huntsville, that lime green spot, so some strong wind gusts in central Madison County. Overall, though, our severe threat, though, is coming to an end for tonight. Huntsville, we're going to see these strong wind gusts maybe hold together for another 10, 15 minutes or so. It is severely warned, so if you're up, you want to make sure you want to try to get away from those windows. Could see some debris trying to blow around in the street, whatever it may be. If we have some trees down in the Huntsville area, could see some of that. But overall, outside of this outflow boundary that we have, that's across Washington and Madison counties, just seeing some of these returns start to come back with some of those strong wind gusts across Madison County. Carroll County, it looks like most of the wind, again, we have to look at this leading edge. Still some strong wind gusts in Carroll County, but overall that leading edge pushing off towards central Arkansas this evening. And as for the rainfall, only in Carroll and Madison County. So we're going to go ahead and wrap things up here. Again, you may hear some of those strong wind gusts shortly in the Winslow area, but overall, though, not considered damaging. Could see some of those smaller trees start to get blown around just a bit. Overall, though, we're going to go ahead and wrap things up here. If we have any more severe thunderstorm warnings in some of the rest of our viewing area tonight, we'll go ahead and hop back on here, but we're going to go ahead and wrap things up for right now. As always, keep it here, keep it local. As always, we'll keep you advised.